Marquette was founded in 1849. All the buildings at this time were made of wood. Thursday, June 11, 1868, around 11:30 p.m. is when the Great Marquette Fire hit. It burned down 16 city blocks downtown, and in that 4 hours, it changed the course of Marquette's history.
The city leaders realized that they needed to change, and so they decreed many things, including the fact that in the business district of downtown Marquette, you could no longer build with wood. You could only build with brick or sandstone, which is why we have all those amazing sandstone buildings still sitting in downtown Marquette.
The fire started in the workshops of the Marquette and Ontonagon Railroad right on Front and Main Street. To this day, they are still unsure of how it started. At the time, they did not have a fire department or even a water system. Marquette only had one hand pump truck at this time. They used Lake Superior to the full advantage with buckets and buckets of water.
The night was so hot and it was windy, the fire just immediately caught hold of the Marquette and Ontonagon buildings, and then all of a sudden it spread to wooden buildings across the street, and there was nothing they could do to stop it.
An interesting fact about the Great Marquette Fire is that there were no deaths and only a couple of injuries, but also a body that was burned.
A guy named Mr. McGilligan, who was a logger who had died the day before, his body was actually in a coffin on one of the docks in the harbor in Marquette waiting to get shipped back to Canada, and when the dock burned, he had a premature cremation.
After the fire, the city realized that they needed some type of water system and a firefighting system.
Peter White and several other city founders raised what is now the equivalent of $5 million to buy not only several horse-drawn fire trucks, but to also lay water pipes and fire hydrants all throughout the city of Marquette. And actually, some of those pipes are still being used by the city 150 years later.
It took the city 3 to 4 years to come back from the Great Marquette Fire. This fire that happened 150 years ago today helped turn Marquette from the frontier town it once was to the beautiful city we have today. I'm Jordan Galkis, reporting for ABC 10 and the CW5.